This is a current video of a duplex that we bought back in 1996. We purchased 50% interest in this property, with the other 50% being purchased by a friend of mine from work. I was 29 years old. My friend was 24 years old. This was the first real estate transaction that our realtor had ever closed. Our mortgage broker was so bad, we fired her 10 days before closing and had to find another mortgage broker that could get the job done. We were scared to death, but we finalized the deal on the closing date. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Living an Abundant Life. I plan to share with you the details behind why we thought this property was such a good deal and why we purchased it. We'll see you in just a sec. So even though we were scared, we were very confident that we could make this work. For many years, I'd wanted to own a rental property. And then my partner was very similar. He was 5 years younger than I was, but he really had an interest in owning a rental property as well. And he had done his research, and he wanted to follow the 1% rule. So now, the 1% rule worked really well in 1996. And what it was is that you wanted your rents every month to be equal to 1% of the total price of the project. The total price of the project's $150,000. We need to collect rent of $1,500 a month. You can't do that nowadays. The interest rates have come down, which drives down the monthly mortgage rate, but because of that, prices of houses, duplexes, and any other kind of commercial property have gone up. And so you can now probably get between $2,000 and $2,500 for a duplex total, but you can't buy one for $250,000. Now duplexes cost $400,000 to $500,000, and you just can't get rents of $4,000 to $5,000 a month. So that 1% rule just no longer works. But in 1996, it worked. Let me show you how. I talked in a previous video about penciling out the project. So the total cost of the project was $152,200. That was the $150,000 for the purchase price of the duplex, plus $2,200 for closing costs. We put down 20%. Leaving a loan of $120,000. At the time, we were able to get an interest rate of 7.25%, which meant that our monthly mortgage expense would be $818. Our property taxes projected out to be $185 a month, and our insurance expense was $45 a month. And then we put back into reserves another $200 a month. You add that all up, and that came out to right around $1,250, a couple dollars less than $1,250. So we had a profit, a cash flow, a positive cash flow of $250 or $3,000 a year. So we were able to make just under 10% on our down payment. $3,000 positive cash flow, paying all of our expenses, paying our reserves. It was that easy. At the time, it seemed really difficult. Like I said, we were scared to death, but we were confident because we had run these numbers and we were like, this can work. This should work. And it did. And for the next 5 years, we just went along every year and we made about $3,000 positive cash flow every year for a total of about $15,000, each of us making about $7,500 in that first 5 years. Also, the other thing that saved us money is that we managed the property ourselves. I wouldn't do that today. There were times when that was the most difficult thing I did in my life. I had to evict a couple tenants. I had to go have some very heart-to-heart, hard conversations with tenants. We had tenants moved out that left the place completely tore up. That was tough. But we were young. We didn't have a lot of money, but we had a lot of energy, and so we made it work. After 5 years, the interest rates had come down considerably, and we were able to refinance that for about 4.5%. It lowered our payment by another $250, and all of a sudden, we were each making about $3,000 a year on it. So for the next 5 years, we each made about $3,000 a year, or $15,000. So in total, in that 10-year period, we owned it till right before the housing bust, until late in 2006. Our cash flow on that property was essentially $22,500. So we had paid our whole down payment back, we had made money, and then we sold the duplex. And we timed it just right. We sold at the top end of the market for 2006 and got out of it. We came out of it really well. So what did I learn from this? Number one, I learned that I want to have a partner when I do these deals. You don't have to do it financially often, but it just makes your life a lot easier. When things are good, you're sharing it with somebody that you like. When things are bad, you have somebody to bounce ideas off of. When there's work to be done, there's two of you that are doing the work, not just one. I really recommend that, especially when you're starting out, don't be afraid to get a partner. It needs to be somebody you trust. It probably shouldn't be a family member. Just saying. And it probably needs to be a friend that isn't that good of a friend, but they then grow to be that good of a friend. My relationship with the partner I had on this continues to this day. We don't own any property together, but we have a really good relationship. I consider him a very valued friend, and I know he considers me the same. That's number one. Number two, make sure you're getting those reserves. Make sure that you're socking them away, because there is going to be a rainy day. The third thing I learned is that rental property, commercial property, I wanted to do it. It was tough, it was exciting, but it was also rewarding. I hope this has been helpful. Again, those three things are, it's not a bad idea to get a partner for your first deal especially, but even going forward, most all my deals now I have partners. 2, make sure you're getting those reserves. Make sure that you're socking them away, because there is going to be a rainy day. And 3, investment properties can be and should be a very profitable piece of business. You have to manage them hard. You have to find the right deals. You have to get very comfortable with your deals, but you can make money on this. It can be a very good side income for you to help you later on in your life, or even to help you during tough months that you go through just because life is hard. I hope that's been helpful. Please subscribe. Hit that like button if you got some good information on this. And please comment. I'd sure like to hear from you. Have a great day.